Hi, welcome to G2P Risk Assessment Standard Configuration Guide. In this short video, we will cover a few of the basic configurations you'll need to make in order to start using G2P. We'll show you how to create a grantee or subrecipient, how to create a point of contact user at the grantee or subrecipient, how to create risk assessment questions, how to create risk assessment templates, and how to initiate a risk assessment. Let's get started. The first thing we'll cover is creating a grantee or subrecipient. The first thing we need to do is log in to G2P. Hopefully by now you've received an invitation from the system that included an initial password. The first time you log in, you'll be asked to change the password to something more familiar. For our training video, let's go ahead and log in as Kevin Grant. To create a new grantee or subrecipient, go to the Grantee Subrecipient tab and select Create. This opens up a form where we can collect some basic information about this grantee or subrecipient. Start by identifying if the award is to an individual or to an organization. Then select if the award is to a grantee or a subunit. An example of how you might use subunit would be if you made awards to multiple chapters of the United Way. Each chapter could be created as a subunit, but maintained under the main header of United Way. For now, let's go ahead and select grantee. Add the name of the organization, as well as the contact details for their main point of contact. Continue on through the form, entering all of the required fields. This form essentially just creates the entity in the system. When finished, just click on Create Grantee. In this next section, we'll show you how to create a grantee or subrecipient user. Under the Admin menu, select User Management and Create User. Start by entering the name, email address, and phone number for this user. This user will be the main point of contact in G2P and will receive notifications for risk assessments that must be completed. If this user's manager is already a user of the system, click Yes in this box, and then select the name of their manager from the drop-down field below. Select whether this user is a member of your organization or part of a subrecipient. You can give them admin privileges if you choose. And lastly, select the name of their organization. And that's it. In this section, we'll show you how to create risk assessments. We'll start by creating risk assessment questions that can be created and stored for reuse in the risk assessment library. Under the Risk Assessment tab, select Create and Question. In this screen, we're creating a multiple choice question. Simply type the question you'd like to ask in the top box. With that complete, we can begin to add possible answers to the question. To create more answers, just select the Add More Answers button. You can do this as many times as you like. When you're finished, select Create. This brings us back to the question library. Now let's take a look at how we can use questions from the library to create a template or questionnaire that will be sent to subrecipients or grantees. From the Risk Assessment tab, select Create and Questionnaire. Then give the questionnaire a name. You may choose to use the name of the program that's being managed, or the type of risk that's being measured, or any combination you'd like to use. By clicking on Add Questions, a list of questions from your library is brought forward. Simply click on the questions you'd like to add. Over time, your list might get quite long. You can always use our search feature to find questions that you're looking for. By clearing the search box, you'll be brought back to the full list of questions. By selecting the Add button, you will now see the list of questions you've created for your questionnaire. The next step is to add scoring metrics for each question. By selecting the blue Expander button, the answers for each question are exposed. In this view, we can create a weight for the question, as well as enter the number of points we would like to assign for each response. Weight is a multiplier on the points awarded for any question. We use this so that you can maintain a consistent scoring model, but still have a way to make one question worth more than others. The next step is to add the points you would like to award for each response. In this example, with a weight of 2 and a yes answer worth 10 points, the total points awarded for this question would be 20. If you would like the respondent to provide additional documentation to support their answer, you can do so by selecting Supporting File Needed. Complete this section by expanding all of the questions and adding the desired weight and points. When you're finished, click Create Questionnaire, and you'll see that this questionnaire is now available for use. Now let's look at how we send risk assessments to grantees or subrecipients. Start by going to the Risk Assessment tab and selecting Initiate Risk Assessment. In the first dialog box, select the grantee or subrecipient. Only grantees or subrecipients already created in the system will be available. In the Select Program box, the only option you will have is Risk Assessment. Then select the template you'd like to use and assign a due date. When you're ready, select Initiate. Once initiated, G2P will send an email notification to the point of contact at the subrecipient, letting them know that they've been assigned a risk assessment. In this next section, we'll show you how your subrecipient or grantee would respond to the risk assessment. As we mentioned earlier, once you initiate the risk assessment, a notification is sent to the grantee or subrecipient point of contact. From that email, they can click a link that will take them directly into G2P. After they've logged in, they can see the items that are waiting for them in their inbox. Under the Risk Assessments tab, you can see the risk assessment that we just created and assigned to Susan. By clicking the Proceed button, the user is presented with the questions in the risk assessment. The user can select the Expand All button, or can work their way through the questions one at a time. The user simply needs to provide the answers as requested in the form. If supporting documents are required, the user simply selects the button in the top right and browses to find the documentation that is required. Please note that if supporting documents are required, the user will not be able to complete the risk assessment without attaching a document. If a user tries to upload this risk assessment without a supporting document, the system will provide an error message reminding them that they are required to upload documents. Also note at the bottom of the screen that the user has the option to print, to save to finish later, or to save and submit. Once submitted, the user is taken back to their inbox. At this point, G2P will send an automated notification back to you, letting you know that the risk assessment has been completed and that it's ready for your review. Now let's take a look at how you can review a completed risk assessment. Following the link in the email notification, you'll log back into G2P. You'll see in the Risk Assessments tab, there's an item for review. By selecting Review, and then expanding to see all the answers, you can review the inputs that the subrecipient or grantee provided. You can also review attachments that may have been uploaded. These documents remain with the file and are available for review at any time. And you'll notice that the system-generated score is available in the top right corner. By selecting Complete Review, you'll finish your task and the risk assessment will be stored permanently. You're then taken back to your inbox where you can see that there are no more items for review. This completes the short configuration video. A more detailed user manual is available at our support site at www.support.g2ponline.com. In addition to the user manual, you can also find other system documentation. You can get email support, you can make a feature request, or just contact us. For more information about the full-featured Risk Assessment Professional or our grant monitoring module, just visit us at www.grantgovernance.com. Thanks for watching, and good luck with G2P.